Good morning. Today we have all assembled here to celebrate the 88th birth anniversary of the famous Soviet Russian poet Robert Ivanovich Rozhdestvensky. He was a noteworthy poet of the liberal Soviet of 60s. He pioneered a newer, fresher and freer style of poetry in the Soviet Union. His most active years were from 1950 to 1994. He had a reputation of an outstanding Russian poet in favor of democracy. Many remember Rozhdestvensky's reciting his poem in a soft yet powerful voice that mesmerized the listeners. He was a public man in the true sense of the word. He traveled a lot around Russia, meeting people from all walks of life and versifying his life experience, all he saw and felt in numerous poems. Many of his poems were set to music and became popular songs, and although he never consumed them as such, one can feel the music in every line he wrote. Famous Russian singer Yusuf Kobzon says, his poetry will survive for centuries. Today, we shall be presenting a PowerPoint presentation on life and work of Robert Rozhdestvensky, prepared by Ria Hazra, which will be followed by recitation of two poems of Rozhdestvensky, along with their English translation. We shall end the program with a famous song of Rozhdestvensky. I will now ask Ria to present us the PowerPoint presentation.
To gauge Rozhdestvensky's fame and prowess in Russian literary history, one needs only to have a glance of the report published by the New York Times on the death of the eminent poet. On 21st August 1994, the New York Times reports his death as following. Robert Rozhdestvensky, one of the Russian poets who helped turn verse into a symbol of spiritual freedom in the early post-Stalin years, died today, the Itar-Tass news agency reported. He was 62. Mr. Rozhdestvensky died after a long illness, the report said. During the 1960s, Mr. Rozhdestvensky, who suffered from a strong stutter, gave mass readings, sometimes filling Moscow's giant Luzhniki soccer stadium. He did not express disloyalty to the Soviet state, but his flamboyant verse helped break the stranglehold of socialist realism that gripped poetry during the decades of Stalin's iron rule. Robert Ivanovich Rozhdestvensky was born in 1932 and breathed his last in the year 1994. Robert Rozhdestvensky was born on June 20, 1932, in the village of Koshyha, Western Siberia, now also known as Altai Territory. Rozhdestvensky was born in the mesmerizingly beautiful Altai Territory, which was equally picturesque both during the summer and the winter months. The pristine white, snowy landscape was the inspiration of many of his poems. One of the following, which he identifies himself with and empathizes with the snow. The snow. Through the window, snow had flown in that night, and by morning it had not let up. It is snowing playfully, and all the while looks like snowflakes in a bottle shaken up. And it doesn't seem to know where to fly, where it can find a dwelling place. It does not remember where's the earth and why there is grass, and why the earth and space. Now it falls, and now it's flying up and down, at a loss, as I can see. I can understand the snow. I know what's up, for it happened more than once to me. Time had stopped, and then it suddenly went back. All the clocks and watches vanished in the dark. I could not remember what to say, and why I should laugh, and why I had to cry. After autumn, spring set in. Then winter came. I forgot all words. I forgot your name. I could not remember why I needed you. You reminded me of it. It's true. Full of pride, you came to me at will, putting up with my indifference anew. Snow is melting on your lashes still. I just wonder what I'd do without you. Robert got his name in the honor of the revolutionary of the USSR People's Commissar of Agriculture, Robert Ike. Since 1934, Robert lived with his parents and grandmother in Omsk. Robert's father, Stanislav Nikodimevich Petkevich, was a Pole by nationality from a family exiled to Siberia after the Warsaw Uprising. In a report, Rozdestvenski speaks about his father. And then he volunteered for the Finnish front. He returned before the big war, and of course also went to her, killed near Smolensk. And I saw him for the last time when my father's train stopped for 10 minutes in Omsk. I saw it almost in complete darkness on the cargo apron. It was unusual for me to see him, and I babbled something and wept and wept. That's all about the father. The following is a short poem written by Rozdestvenski during his early teenage years. My dad goes camping with a rifle. I wish, darling victories, and mom takes a green bag, lives with her sister in the infirmary. I also have dexterity and strength to go to the battle with the Nazis. But to me, wait, Voroshilov says, learn, temper, grow. Although I am only 10 years old today, I learned how to shoot. And let only Stalin tell me, campaign, the Nazis will not be merciful. His mother, Vera Pavlovna Fyodorova, was on the eve of war, graduated from the Omsk Medical Institute, and immediately went to the front as a military doctor. His military childhood differed little because he felt his age, boys and girls of that time. The hunger, the cold, waiting for letters from the front, fear for parents. Robert stayed with his grandmother. In July 1941 in Omsk Truth, there was a small poem written by the student, Robert Petkevich. Robert transferred his first 9 ruble fee to the defense fund. A new life had begun, frequent concert in hospitals. A student of the 19th Omsk School, which was located in this building, more than once performed with his friends and amateur concerts for the wounded in the Omsk hospitals. This was the school where Rozdestvenski was brought up. School number 19, a military school where Rozdestvenski studied when he lived with his grandmother in Omsk. His grandmother died in April 1943. His mother returned briefly to register her sister in the apartment. Rozdestvenski continued to live there with his aunt and cousin until 1944. Robert didn't remember much about his father, as his parents divorced in 1937. His father died in 1945. Robert lived in Omsk till the age of 13, part of which time he spent with his grandmother and other relatives, since his parents were recruited to the war front. His mother attempted to bring her with her to become a son of the regiment, a child living in the army. On the way to Moscow, he changed his mind and found himself in the Danilovsky orphanage. In 1945, his mother remarried. Her new husband was an officer named Ivan Ivanovich Rozdestvenski. Robert changed his name and patronymic to that of his new stepfather. His parents took him to Königsberg, where they were both serving at that time. After the war ended, he moved to Leningrad until 1948, where he moved again to Petrozavodsk. This is Robert as a boy, his beautiful large eyes with penetrating and an intense gaze, and on the right, we have his stepfather, Ivan Ivanovich Razdestvensky. Though Robert aspired to enter the Moscow Literature Institute, he did not succeed in his first attempt and had to stay at the History and Philosophy department of the Zavodsk University for a year. After a year of communication, classmates were able to recognize him both as a poet and as a volleyball player. He finally enrolled as a student of the Moscow Gorky Literary Institute, from where he graduated in 1956. While still a student, he became a member of the powerful Union of Soviet Writers, a rare achievement for a man of 22. Membership gave him the opportunity to publish his first verse collection, Flags of Spring, in 1955. He then published two collections of poetry, The Test and My Love, both in 1956. In the late 1950s and early 1960s, Robert Razdestvensky was a prominent member of the liberal Moscow literary group, led by his fellow poets Yevgeny Yevtushenko and Bella Akhmadulina. It was the time of Nikita Khrushchev's so-called thaw and de-Stalinization campaign. After Khrushchev's secret speech, of which the entire Moscow intelligentsia knew, at the 20th Communist Party Congress in February 1956, a youth revolution began. Razdestvensky met Yevtushenko at the Literary Institute. Razdestvensky, Yevtushenko, Akhmadulina, and the poet Andrei Voznesensky led the angry young people who went into the streets of Moscow and read liberal poetry, some of it anti-Soviet. The group gave public readings next to the poet Vladimir Mayakovsky's life-size monument on the square, bearing his name, attracting crowds of young people who came to listen to the fresh voice of truth. They also read at huge auditoriums, such as Tchaikovsky's Conservatoire and Lenin-Luzhniki Stadium. It was at this time that Razdestvensky published in the Moscow monthly magazine, Yunost or Youth, his best-known collections of poem, The Requiem, a homage to the dead of the Second World War. From left to right, we have Marat Tarasov, Robert Razdestvensky, Vladimir Morozov, and Stavropol poet Vladimir Genushev during the studies at the Literary Institute of Moscow. Here we have the picture of Razdestvensky with the famous and eminent poet Yevtushenko. At the Literary Institute, Robert Razdestvensky met his fellow student Alla Kiriva, the future literary critic, artist, and his wife. Alla Kiriva says the following about him. We met at the Literary Institute, Alla Kiriva told. Robert transferred to our course from the Philological Department of the Karelian University. This shy provincial, but at the same time a boxer, a volleyball player, and a basketball player, who played for the national team of Karelia, where Robert the Christmas memory games are still held, was simply stuffed with verses. We have much the same fate. My parents divorced. My grandmother raised me. I was on my own. So is Rob. After the war, when his mother married again, his brother was born, and his parents were not up to the eldest son. That's how two loneliness met. Together, we lived for 41 years. This is Robert Razdestvensky with his wife. In this happy marriage, Robert and Alla had two daughters. One of them, Ekaterina Robertovna, became a translator of fiction from English and French, a journalist and a photographer. Another daughter, Ksenia Robertovna, became a journalist. After Khrushchev's overthrow and Brezhnev's taking power, Razdestvensky became a senior member of the board of the USSR Union of Writers. In 1971, he was elected a member of the Secretariat of the Union, a powerful group which decided who should be published and who should not. In 1972, he was awarded the Lenin Komsomol Prize for Young Communists at the age of 40. He became a member of the Communist Party in 1977 and in 1979 received a Lenin Prize. The characteristic feature of Rostestvansky poetry is the ever-pulsating modernity, the lively relevance of the questions that he posed to himself and to the readers. In 1955, Robert, during his practice in Altai, met the conservatory student Alexander Pliarkovsky, with whom the first Christmas song was created, Your Window. Later, Rostestvansky created many texts of popular songs, Peace, Become the Way I Want, Chase from the movie New Adventures of the Elusive, Undiscovered Islands, Huge Sky, Sweet Berry, I Wish to You, and other works, including songs to performances and the operas. Rostestvansky practically locked himself in Peredelkino in his Moscow apartment. He was always a homebody, did not like noisy companies and social events, and after shooting performances, he immediately went home. In the early 1990s, doctors diagnosed him with brain tumor. He writes a very humorous poem on brain tumor. Instead of feeling intimidated by it, he decides to write a humorous poem on it. So an extract of the poem reads like this. I have a tumor in my brain, the size of a chicken egg. Interesting. Who brought this chicken carrying such eggs? I had bad grades in anatomy at school, but today the soft word tumor, karayaba me and scares, especially since it somehow is growing contrary to my desire. No, I believe, of course, the stories of the doctors, that the operation will go as it should. I believe that it is not too complicated and almost not at all dangerous. But still, doctor, I hope that at school you with anatomy was fine and that your hands do not tremble and your heart beats measuredly. Your profession is very visual, doctor, too visual. But after all, we, composing poems, also trying to handle tumors, eternal tumors of shame, anger, envy, and thoughtlessness. We operate with words, and the words, well, you understand, doctor, no match to your drills, cutters, saws, or what else do you have? Words bounce off human skulls like hailstones from iron roofs. Well, if the operation fails, of course, this does not happen with you, but suddenly, so if the operation fails, you will certainly hurt, and I'll forget about everything instantly. I will be no way, forever nothing. But do not be too sad, doctor. Do not. You are not to blame. A successful operation in France allowed the poet to live for another 4 years. Gravely ill, Robert retired in the Dacha village, Peredelkino. There, the poet wrote some of his best poems, which were compilation of the last poems of Robert Rostestvansky, filled with love for life, published after the poet's death. Robert Rostestvansky died of a heart attack on August the 19th, 1994. Thank you.
Thank you, Ria, for an illustrative PowerPoint presentation. I will now request Tonusri Chatterjee to read the poem Nazimle Bezhalasnava Malinkar, followed by the English translation.
Robert Rostestvansky, Nazimle Bezhalasna Malinkar. Nazimle Bezhalasna Malinkar, Žil dobil Čelave Malinki. U него была служба маленькая и маленький очень портфель. Получал он зарплату маленькую. И однажды, прекрасным утром, постучались к нему в окошко. Небольшая, казалось, война. Автомат ему видели маленький, сапоги ему видели маленькие, коску видели маленькую. И маленькую Parasmeram schnell. Kagda an upal, ne krasiva, ne pravilna, Fatakushim krike vivernu frot. To na visije zemlje, ne hvatila mramora, što bi vyrobit parnja, folni prost. Spasiba.
I'll request you to do the English translation. Read out the
Yes.
English translation.
Yes, ma'am. The English translation, the small man. On a ruthlessly small earth, once upon a time, there was a small man. He had a small service and a very small briefcase. He received a small wage. And one day, one beautiful morning, they knocked on his window. It seemed a small war. They gave him a small automatic gun. He was given small boots. He was given a small helmet and a small overcoat in size. And when he fell, ugly, wrong, in an attack shout, twisting his mouth, there was not enough marble in all the earth to cut out a guy in full growth. Thank you.
Thank you, Tonusri. I'll now request Indrani Roy Mohanty to read an excerpt from Robert Rождественski's Requiem, Помните.
Здравствуйте. От живописца Роберта Рождественского. Реквием. Помните. Помните. Через века, через года. Помните. А те, кто уже не придет никогда. Помните. Не плачьте. В горле сдержите стони, горькие стони. Памяти павших будьте достоин, вечно достоин. Хлебом и песней, мечтой и стихами, жизнью просторной, каждой секундой, каждым дыханием будьте достоин. Люди, покуда средства стучастия, помните, какую ценой завоевано счастье, пожалуйста, помните. Песню свою, отправляя в полет, помните. А тех, кто уже никогда не споет, помните. Детям своим расскажите они, чтоб запомнили. Детям, дети, расскажите они, чтоб тоже запомнили. Во все времена бессмертной земли помните. К мечтающим звездам веря корабли, а погибших помните. Встречайте трепетную весну, люди земли. Убейте войну, прокляните войну, люди земли. Мечту пронесите через года и жизнью, наполните. Но а тех, кто уже не придет никогда, заклинаю, помните, помните, помните. I will read the English translation of this poem now. Remember, remember, through the centuries, through the years, remember, those who will never return, remember. Do not cry, stifle your moans, bitter moans. Be worthy of the memory of the fallen, worthy for eternity. In bread and in song, in dream and in poem, in life without boundaries, with every second, with every breath, be worthy. In a song that comes from your heart, remember. Those who will never sing again, remember. Tell your children about them, so they too will remember. At all times on the immortal earth, remember. while flying spaceships to the flickering stars. Remember, meet the quivering spring. People of the earth, kill the war, curse the war. People of the earth, carry your dreams through the years and fill it with life. But those who will never return, I implore you, remember. Spasiba.
Thank you. We shall end the program with a famous song of Robert Radzinsky, Ekha Lubi. I will request Natasha to perform the song. Natasha.
Кроется небо пеленками звезд, Мнутся ветви упруга. Тебя я услышу за тысячи верст. Миеха, ми долгое эхо друг друга. Миеха, и долгое эхо друг друга. До тебя я не была, дотронуться сердцем нетрудно, я ж нас любовь со собой позвала. И нежно, и вечная нежность друг друга. И нежно, и вечная нежность. Ночи в краю, сумасшедшими, смертельного круга. Я знаю, с тобой не расстанемся мы. И пламя, звездная пламя. И пламя, и звездная пламя.
So I'm done. It's finished.
Thank you, Natasha. I would like to thank everybody for their active participation. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.